Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am very excited to be with you all today and have so much to share. My aunt posted in my little reminder post that I would be live in 30 minutes. My aunt, Greg's aunt, asked, what caused me to be live today instead of pre-recorded, and yeah, so that is a story. This is fall break for our youngest son, and as many of you know, my parents moved to Florida last month at the same time that Hurricane Ian, decided to move into Florida. They're fine. They're in a part of Florida that I think had less direct impact. But they flew to Florida and left their cars here, my dad's pickup and my mom's car. Um, and we had planned to drive them down to Florida over fall break and spend the day at Universal. Well, um, yesterday we got on the road. Hardin was with me and Greg was behind us. And of course, we stopped for breakfast at Chick-fil-A because that's what you do on every road trip, right? And left Chick-fil-A. We had probably been on the road, I don't know, just minutes after that, and still in our hometown, less than 15 minutes from home. And the oil pressure light came on in my mom's car, and it went off, and it came on, and it went off again. So I immediately called Greg. He's a very knowledgeable car guy, and told him, and he told me to turn left instead of turning right at the upcoming light and pull into the auto parts store, and we would take a look. So we made that little stop and we popped the hood, and the hood latch wouldn't release. So that was our first problem. Well, I guess maybe that was our second problem. I don't know. That meant that we weren't going to get very far, because Greg wasn't able to diagnose at all if he couldn't get to the engine to see anything. So we called my mom and told her, what was going on, and that we just weren't sure what this meant for our trip, but we were no longer on the road. So we ended up taking her. We never did get the hood latch to release. And although we feel really certain, okay, not we, Greg feels really certain that this is a bad sensor and not something dreadfully wrong with her engine, or potentially alerting us to a potential problem with her engine, we just couldn't take that chance. So we took the car to the local dealer, which of course is very, very busy, as all shops are probably around the country. And they are not able to even look at this until tomorrow at the earliest. So we came home and we decided that we would have alternate plans for the week. I am a little sad, totally own that, but also recognize that we could have been anywhere on this trip when it happened. We could have had to leave that car with a dealership or shop anywhere along the road and then be stranded. So, God was definitely looking out for us when we were able just to go home. So we've rescheduled our trip for Thanksgiving, which I know that will be here before we know it, and looking forward to that. So anyway, that is the story, Aunt Betty, and we're home and we're fine. We made the most of yesterday by we ordered pizza last night, and we purchased the Top Gun movie. The guys had seen it in the theater, but I missed out, and so they watched it with me and thoroughly enjoyed that new movie. If you haven't seen it, you should. Next on my movie list is the Elvis movie, which I think my friend Hope is going to create a girls' night for us to watch it in her. She has a little movie room in her house. It's amazing. And she pops popcorn for it, so it's even better. All right, so that kind of brings you up to speed on what's happening. And today, in the blog post I'm sharing, I mentioned that it's full of bonuses because I pre-recorded a full class intending that that would be what was shown today. And And I could have just shared that, as I expected to, but it just didn't feel right. And I knew I needed a pick me up. If I'm feeling sad, I need to be stamping. And so I decided to do something different. Still share what I created on Tuesday, but that's kind of a bonus. So I'm going to share those cards that I made, and I'm going to reveal the cards that are the designs for the classes for October, at least 2 of the classes for October. And then we've got 3 cards that we're going to make. So I'm going to switch the camera off of me and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so in the pre-recorded content on Tuesday, I made 3 cards. And I can't remember what order I went in, so I'm just going to show you to them however they come. So this is a card made with the Soft Seedlings stamp set. This is in the mini catalog. This gorgeous designer series paper is in the mini catalog. And then I've used an embossing folder from the annual catalog and our Stylish Shapes dies for that circle. That die gives a little stitching on the edge that I think you can see, almost see. Anyway, this is a great die set. The Soft Seedlings stamp set is featured in one of the bonus classes for October. And it's a bonus because it doesn't have an in-person component, but it does have a video tutorial as well as a written tutorial. So you'll need the stamp set, and you can order that from me. I'd love you to order that from me. You can add it on to your class, and that will be one of the bonus classes. And I've got to get to work finishing the designs for that later today. This is another card that I made, and on this one, gets me a little, it's a little emotional for me. Now, first, I want to show you what sparked this card. So this is a card that we made in Saturday at World Card Making Day, the event that Stampin' Up put on. Good morning, Jeannie. And I absolutely loved this. This features the cottage wreath bundle, and we made the colors. This was shimmery white cardstock that we created a watercolor wash background, and then we die cut and did the same thing here with Fleur de Flamingo. So I decided to, and I cased Dr. Robin for this card. Good morning, Kirby. And so I did the same thing, same technique. Now I made a boo-boo, if you will. And I didn't allow my cardstock to really dry before I die cut it. And that meant that it didn't die cut as cleanly as it normally does. But so this is using the cottage wreath dies. And then these panels and the door handle are created with a new bundle. This is new in the upcoming catalog called Warm Welcome. And let me grab that because it's not in the new catalog. You won't have seen it. I've already put the dies away. I apologize for that. But here's the stamp set. And you can still get this. I'll have links in the blog post at michellesalcho.com. But how about this adorable kitty and these presents? This reminds me of a birthday set from a few years ago. This door completely cuts out, as you saw. Oh, darn. I didn't show that. So this is the card we made with this at World Card Making Day. So all of these dies cut out. And then this was just, of course, I used the Pick a Banner punch. I'm not talented enough with scissors to do that. But anyway, so this was from World Card Making Day. And so I used the Warm Welcome bundle, just the dies, to make that. I didn't even add a greeting, but I thought that this would be so fun to give my parents as they spend the holidays in their new home. I love a red welcoming door. So that is in the Tuesday bonus video. And this is in the Tuesday bonus video. Now, the Christmas card class in October is the 4th in our series. And I'm featuring this Hope and Peace stamp set with this wonderful snowflake flocked vellum. these are absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to show those to you as well. But this card is a bonus. So you have an extra design that you can continue creating after the class. And then this is the third card that we made at World Card Making Day. Now that video is still available for replay. If you haven't seen it yet, you don't want to miss it. So, all right. Let me show you. Okay, these are the designs for the Christmas card class. Aren't these gorgeous, shiny and blingy, full of bling? Don't let it blind you. But featuring that wonderful snowflake paper, Hope and Peace stamp set, those snowflakes, and some kind of sequins and gems. Darn. Oh, I don't know where they are. But anyway, so that's one of the designs. You'll make 2 of each. This is one of the designs. I absolutely love this one. It opens like this to reveal a gorgeous greeting, and then it's also a card, so lots of room for your messages. Then this is another one of the designs, and these are just elegant. I don't know, I can't decide which is my favorite. This is a bit of a fun fold. But this is definitely my favorite greeting. May knowing Christ bring you peace for today, hope for tomorrow, and joy in every season. So those are the 4 designs. You can register for this class by the 20th of the month. The in-person class meets early, but the to-go class, you've got until the 20th to sign up. Now, these are the designs for Card Club. Now, Card Club is an exclusively available as a subscription, and I absolutely love this card. These are they're just beautiful, and I'm not taking credit for the design. I cased this from somebody that I didn't write down, darn it. I think it's Heidi Collins is who I cased this from. And then this one, just very elegant and clean cards. Love this one because I didn't have to worry about getting it straight. And then this one I cased from Jennifer Cotton. And I will use a different shape in the card kit. It was a punch that I don't have yet. So when I designed those. Okay, so now you are up to date. We are working today with the Cozy and Bright kit. This is part of the Stampin' Up kit collection. Now, we're going to take this a step farther. We're actually not going to make these designs. We're going to make 3 designs with the ink and the stamp set that are included. So this is an all-inclusive kit, right? So it has all the pieces, right? Here's some twine. It has a block. It has all of the paper components that you need, a stamp set, and even an ink spot. So we are going to use that, but we're going to create 3 different designs. And I purposely didn't open it because I wanted you to see what these look like. The kits are amazing, and there's a brand new one out called the Birthday Organizer, and you want to jump on that fast because it will make wonderful gifts. I give cards to my mother-in-law and my mother every year for Christmas, and this year I'm going to give them each this organizer filled with cards for all of our family. I don't need that. I do save this cardboard. So here is my twine that looks like linen thread, and I have a block, and then I've got some die cuts. I have a full sheet of dimensionals. So here are all the die cuts. Die cuts mean this is already, this is perforated. Oh, actually these look like stickers. Oh, they are. So even better, you're going to peel those off and stick them down. No extra adhesive needed. Look at these envelopes. Oh, how fun. And then some more of the die cuts, the strips for stamping your greetings, and then the cards. Guys, these are gorgeous. They've got some metallic detail, lots of beautiful watercolor looking images, and you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 12 here, and then can continue crafting with your stamp set and your ink, which is what we're going to do. The instructions are here full in color with pictures to make it really easy. Excuse me. They even have a symbol for the dimensionals and tell you where to place them. So easy to follow, beautiful cards. There is a new, like I said, the new birthday organizer, as well as a new tag kit, and I will have links to all of those. All right, let's get the pieces out for our card. Our first card, I don't know that I need this. Okay, our first card has a garden green base. It has a layer of basic white. It has a circle that is die cut from the Stylish Shapes, and a Scotty that has been punched from basic black, and a red bow that has also been punched for us. And I'm going to go ahead and score. So these are the pieces that you would get with the Designer Series paper in your kit with the ordering special. And since I know some of you took advantage of the free shipping on Tuesday and ordered from me, I am sending you this kit to make these 3 cards. Now, in the recorded video, I told you that I was sending you the kit, the pieces to make the cards I made on Tuesday. And that's not exactly the case, because what am I trying to say? Actually, you know what? I'm going to cut the inch off first. So I'm going to cut this 3 3/4 by 5. That's my scoring blade. That's my cutting blade. And now I'm going to cut it 3 3/4. And then we are ready to stamp and assemble this card. And I wonder if I should, well, we'll figure that out as we go. Okay, now let's stamp. These little spots can be a little tricky to open, so I take my snips and kind of create to break that seal. And sometimes it's easier than others. Now, I have the full ink pad of this color, but I really wanted this to show, to spotlight this kit. I'm going to use the May This Holiday Warm Your Heart, but there are lots of greetings that you can choose from. So let's look at them. Celebrate the season. All is cozy and bright. May this holiday warm your heart. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. Aren't you glad it's Christmas? Happy Christmas and a joyous New Year. So I am going to grab the May This Holiday Warm Your Heart. Go ahead and pull that off. And I'll use the block that's included. So I laid the stamp down. I'm going to pick it up like that. Now with the ink spots, because they're smaller than my stamp, I typically stamp my image, tap the ink kind of upside down, if you will. And then of course I always want to test it out. Brand new photopolymer stamps sometimes have a kind of a film on them, and they need to kind of get that off. There's several ways you can do that. You can just rinse your stamp under water to get it off. As you stamp it a few times, it's going to clean up. Look, even just that twice has given a much clearer image. You can also take an eraser, just a regular pencil eraser, and run that across your stamp. And I'm pretty pleased with the way this is stamping now. Now, these stamps can be cleaned with a baby wipe. If you don't have a Simply Chamois, I'm going to use a Simply Chamois, but you could use a baby wipe, or, and actually, you know what? I don't want to stamp this all green card in red. So, hold on a second. Let's get out the garden green. I was not paying attention there for a few seconds. Now, and your photopolymer stamps, photopolymer means, you know, it's the material that makes your stamp. You can see through where you're stamping, but they do stain. They're clean, it's clean, but it will stain. Okay, I need garden green. So this is the full ink pad. And I am just going to ink it up and stamp it down. And I did that towards the top of the circle to leave me room for my Scotty. And grab my chamois again. I keep my chamois in a stamp case, like a DVD size case. They start out being, you know, pretty purple and clean, and with a little bit of love, they get more and more dark. You can, well, I lost that thought. I guess it wasn't important. All right, so let's layer this guy up. We're going to adhere them together, and then we're going to add some ribbon. So I'm going to add a few extra supplies on these alternate cards. The thought is that once you have finished making the 9 cards that came in your kit, you can add a few additional supplies and just keep creating. Paper Pumpkin is along the same lines. You have all of the consumables that come to you each month, and then you can continue crafting with the stamp set. In fact, I have a to and from stamp that I loved so much from a Paper Pumpkin last year, and it is permanently on a stamp, because when I get ready to make my tags and gift card holders, it's ready to go. And I guess, you know, throughout the rest of the year I could probably undo that, but I know exactly where it is and it works for me. Now, I do a cheater bow every time, and a cheater bow is one that is 2 pieces. And so this is what you will see in my stamping. And I'm going to kind of get this to the center, but I don't have to be exact about it. And you can use a glue dot, run a little bit of tape, and just adhere the back of it to your card. And then take a second piece of the ribbon. I'm going to make a knot. Give it some good Tennessee edges. And I just thread that through like so. And then I'm going to put this down on my card base. Now I'm working with some seal adhesive, Stampin' Seal, and it has a tendency sometimes to have some stops and starts. If you keep a silicone craft mat nearby, then that will stop that from happening, or it'll give it a jump start to run. You don't have to feed it with your fingers. You can just run it on the craft mat, and I'm sure I'll have an opportunity to share that with you in a second, because it happens to all of us. All right, I'm just gonna use my grid paper. Grid paper is a must-have in my craft room, and true confession, I use the grid paper with the retiring colors still for my personal crafting. But one of my viewers said that that was hard on the eyes of the viewer, so I've switched back to white. But for my eyes, the other is easier. But I can see how on camera and real life would be not the same thing. Now, this card design, guys, this is so basic and so easy and so gorgeous. But you could do this with so many different things. A little bit of designer series paper, a die cut or a punch, a greeting, and you've got a super pretty card. Now, it needs a little bit of bling, and I've got some rhinestones that I am going to use. I'm going to take your pick tool. I think that this is a must-have as well. I'm going to grab a rhinestone to put right in the center of his collar. And that is card number 1, right? And you could trim this. This looks a little bit long to me now. So I'm going to come along and trim it a little bit. Sadly, these scissors, the ribbon scissors, are not available any longer. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. All right, card number 1. Card number 2 is I've stuck my dimensionals down to my grid paper. We are going to use All is Cozy and Bright on this next card. And it has a pool party layer to it. Now, I love pool party with reds. So let's see if I can get this in. I think this is the piece that I need. Okay, so I have a white card base, and I am going to score it at 4 1/4, so it is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Love this trimmer. It comes with both the scoring blade and the cutting blade, and then I keep it. That little loop was a big plus. I keep that quite handy, hanging from a strip attached to my desk. And this is my designer series paper for this card, and I am going to cut it. Hold on. Oh, okay, got it. So we have a pool party layer, and then we have this piece, which is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and cut it at 3 1/2 and 4 3/4. And so this is going to layer like this. Then this is going to come across here. We're going to add a snowflake, and we're going to stamp our greeting. And this time we are going to stamp in Poppy Parade. Let's see. Well, yeah, I'm going to stamp in Poppy Parade. It's not, the reds in this paper are Real Red and Sweet Sorbet. So I guess technically I shouldn't use Pool Party. We'll grab the Sweet Sorbet. It's kind of a pinky red. I love it. And we will stamp All is Cozy and Bright. Actually, yeah. You pick whatever greetings you like. Use from this kit or another greeting set that you have. And then, oh, you know what I did that I didn't check on, and it's fine. I didn't see if it needed some help getting any film off, but it worked out just fine. I'll clean that in just a second. So these snowflakes kind of have an iridescent look to them. We've used them a lot in our Christmas card series.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
Cancel.
There's nothing to cancel.
Goodbye, Siri. Bless its heart. Oh, okay, that was a little crooked. Not something I can always see easily, but I could see that. Sometimes these diagonal patterns are a little trickier. We're going to go with that. And then we're going to run this. I want this to be there. I want this to be so I'm interested what other stamp sets and papers do you see yourself using with this sketch? I may actually post them as a sketch and see what you all create. Now, this little hexagon on the back here is the same size as a dimensional, which makes it really cool. To do that, and then put a couple on this. And I'm just going to add it like so. And then let's add some rhinestones. Rhinestones are a basic staple. When in doubt, grab a rhinestone. You won't be disappointed. There we go. So it's card number 2. So some truly quick and easy cards. Now card number 3 is a bit like a stack and shuffle technique, but not. We're going to use a white base, a sweet sorbet layer, and then some more of the red patterns to make this card. But as I look at this, this would be a great one for a stack, cut, and shuffle technique. Wow, okay, we may have to do that again. We haven't done that technique in some time. All right, let's grab our patterns. I'll use that one. And this one, and that should have enough. Got that one. Okay, so with this guy, like I said, I just throw things around to clear up my space. All right, so this one is 2 by 5. So I'm gonna cut it at 2, and then 5. And then this one is 1 5/8 by 3. So 3, 1 5/8. You may notice something new with tutorials since September. I have gone to using the fractions instead of the decimal when available. Hold on a second. I am trying to 1 3/4, 1 5/8. So I'm curious to know if that's easier for you when cutting your paper and following along, if you have a preference. These are going to layer like so. Yes, we definitely need to do a stack and shuffle. Stack, cut, and shuffle is the name of the technique, and I love to do it with monochromatic cards and patterns. And this paper is from the Sweetest Christmas, the Sweet Candy Canes. We use this in the September Christmas card class. Oh, and speaking of Christmas, so Sunday kicked off the 12 Weeks of Christmas, which is an exclusive to my newsletter, not shared on my blog. You must be subscribed to the newsletter to actually receive those tutorials. But each week I will share the links of the previous week so that you can get caught up if you've joined my newsletter list late in the game. And the first week was a gift pouch, just using the Scotties. I kind of like the Scotties a little bit. And voila, like that. And then we're going to stamp. I don't know if I cleaned this yet. And we'll stamp this one. Now the photopolymer, they can be a little wiggly, so when you're taking them off of your block, be careful to slide your fingers underneath it and gently remove it. You could tear them. I don't think I ever have, but that could be because I was shown how to do it. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. Now we're gonna stamp this a couple of times. The other thing about photopolymer stamps is that you can mold them to a different shape. So I usually try and drop them on my grid paper and then pick them up so that I don't inadvertently bend them when I don't intend to. Now, did y'all notice I just fumbled getting the wrong ink? And that's because on the back of your ink pads, there are the colors listed. And the intention is that you peel off the tags in your appropriate language, unless you're learning a new language and you want to test yourself. But this should be on the front of my ink pad, and I got lazy and didn't put it down. But it should go right here on the bottom, and then in my storage unit, I can see the name of the color. Isn't that brilliant? And then I can take this strip that doesn't have a name and put it on the inside right here, because sometimes these inks, when they're open, they look alike. And I did not do a very good job of getting that in straight, but it's okay. Now let's stamp this a few times and get any film off of it. Actually, that one stamped pretty well. Yeah, I'm pretty good with, but I should probably stamp it on my label. And I have ink all over my block, so I will be careful not to get that anywhere else. But since I'm just stamping on this little label and not a card, I think it's okay. When you stamp, you want to stamp straight down and then lift straight up to avoid those halos and getting that extra ink on other things. Usually it's Night of Navy that I get all over myself, but evidently Real Red is not immune. So we will put this down. And try and get an equal border between the right edge, the score line, and top and bottom. And I seem to have more issues top to bottom than right to left. Maybe. There we go. And then we're going to tie a red bow. This is the dual pack Real Red and Garden Green ribbon. I can't believe I haven't even opened my red. And a lot of times I tie a bow directly on the bolt. I noticed that my friend Beth had shared my the post that I was going to be live in 30 minutes. She shared that with, tagged some friends of hers in that, and gave me a little boost, saying that I had mad skills. And if I have mad skills, it's in large part to her, because she taught me to tie bows, as well as many other techniques, tips, and tricks that we need. So very much appreciate her vote of confidence. I'm going to bring that right there. That's a big bow for this little area. And I'll add dimensionals if I can figure out where I put them. And then we'll add some rhinestones. Thank you all so much for being here. If you are a subscriber to my blog, then you will receive the blog update in your email this afternoon. If you're not a subscriber, I'd love for you to subscribe. I try and do a Facebook Live, a YouTube Live, a live stream, if you will, every week. And then that's posted to my blog. Next Tuesday will be another bonus, because there'll be 2 videos next week. There'll be one on Tuesday with the blog hop, and then the regular one on Thursday. And if you would like the pieces to make these 3 cards, then your order, place a qualifying order. The details will be in the blog post, and a link to the blog post will be shared in the description of the video on YouTube and on Facebook. So, Linda Freund, I'm so excited that you are here, because I need to tell you, you sent me a beautiful card that my mother fell in love with. And yesterday, when our trip got canceled, I popped that in the mail to her. So I'm super excited for her to get your card. So I'm sending a little bit of her and a little bit of me and a little bit of you to them in Florida. So thank you for sharing your beautiful card so that I could share it with them. Have a great day, everyone. If you have any questions, then please reach out. Tony, thank you so much for letting me know that, well, the fractions for the 8s and the 16ths I always have to use, but I think for consistency's sake, using them for the quarters and the halves will also be helpful. So thanks so much, everybody, and I will see you again on Tuesday. Bye-bye.